Hey everyone, I'm here today to show you how to make this really easy, cute sign. You can make it for any season, any holiday, any gift. So it's super easy. We're going to use some Deco Foil. Come on and join us. So I'm here today to show you how to make a really cute wooden sign. You can make it say anything you want. I am going to do a holiday themed one, and I'm actually going to do this with a new product that's actually really popular in the crafting world right now. It is called Deco Foil. It's by Therm. It's fabulous. When you see this happening, you're just going to be amazed. And to do this, all you need is a piece of wood. I happen to have, oddly, this piece of 6 by 12 inch wood that I, for some reason, had finished. It has just like an espresso stain on it. You can do it on raw wood, barn wood, whatever you want. So I have this here, and you are going to need, from Deco Foil, they have this material called hot melt adhesive. And this you can cut with any of your traditional die cutters, scissors. I actually cut mine with my Eclipse, and you can see here it's got a rough side and a paper side, and on the rough side that's the actual adhesive. So when you go to cut it, keep that in mind, because that's the side that you're going to have to place down onto your surface. So you may need to reverse your image, mirror image it. And you can see that here. Here's my little cutting mat. And you can see I just wrote the word believe and have a little star here. And I had to reverse it on here because when you do cut it, the instructions for the adhesive say to cut it with the rough side up. So you will have to reverse it to do that. And then the only other thing you are going to need is a heat source or an iron. I have one here that's just sitting here warming up. So let me get all this out of the way for you. And I went ahead and already cut mine out so that you won't have to watch that. And you are just going to have to get it onto your wood. I'm going to try and just flip it over and kind of line it up. These mats are great because they are clear. You can see through them. So I'm just really gently kind of wiggling my design down here, and it'll stick just a little bit. The adhesive isn't sticky until you heat it up, but it does have a little bit of tack to it just naturally. Oh, there we go. All right. So mine's wiggling a little bit, and I have a particularly fussy font. You can see here I actually just tore it. But the good thing about this, because it's adhesive, as long as you put the paper back on the top, just line it up just like that. Put your star or all your little pieces where you want them. A little piece of my paper backing came off, so I'm just going to stick it there. And then we're going to heat this up, and that's going to adhere the adhesive to the wood. And then we'll be able to peel up the paper. So Therm or Deco Foil also sells this parchment paper. You can just use some parchment paper right out of your kitchen. So you can use like a little ruler just to get everything lined up right where you want it, but I think everything here is just fine. So you're just going to take your iron and heat it up. And it takes just a couple seconds here. Try not to slide your work around there. Woo. Or iron over your fingers like I just tried to do. There you go. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I will be right back to show you. You got to let it cool for just a second before you can peel the paper off. So I will be right back to show you peeling the paper off and how to adhere the foil. Okay, so I have ironed, I let it cool, and I've actually peeled off the majority of it. You can just get your fingernail under it. If you can't get a fingernail under it, grab like a sewing needle and just poke the paper and it'll come right up and you can peel it up. So here is my last letter here, my B in believe, and you can see how easy this comes up. You just got to get a fingernail under it. And, well, that side doesn't want to come up. There you go. You just find a spot that'll come up and peel it up. It's quite satisfying. It's like pulling a price sticker off of something new. I actually will sit and do this. I'll do, like if I'm doing like these for a gift, I'll do a bunch of them at a time and do all the peeling all at once. Tend to like to do things assembly line fashion. So there you go. So see, use your paper off of there. If you've got any little bits and pieces, just grab a, your sewing needle and just give it a little scrape. My fingernail here is just getting the last of that paper up. All right, so now that you've got it up, you've got the adhesive on here, and it's actually not sticky, which is interesting. But then you take your Deco Foil and you put it color side up, and just make sure that everywhere that you want your foil to transfer is up. Then just kind of give it a little, I just kind of burnish it on there a little bit with my hands. And then grab your parchment again, okay, and give it a press. And you'll see quickly that it will transfer the foil onto that adhesive. Just give it a good iron, good press. Because this is on wood, you can do this on any type of surface, really. This works on fabric, which is amazing. You think of all the great things you can do with that. You can do it on fabric, you can do it on cardstock. There's lots of different places you can use this, but because this wood is a little bit porous, it does take a little bit extra heat to get it to set. So, do that. And you let it cool just a little bit. You go, and you can kind of see that it'll show, ooh, hot, where it's at. Let me grab a corner here. You just give it a little tug. I didn't give it enough heat, it looks like. So I'm going to give it a little bit more heat, and then I'll show you how to peel this off. All right, so I have done all my heating. It takes a little bit, especially if you are using an iron, because it does need quite a bit of heat. If you're doing a smaller project, you might use a laminator. Those work great. You just put between your layers of parchment paper and run it through the laminator, and it's done really, really quickly. So now that I've heated it, as it's cooling, what I like to do is just press it, and I'm just using my key card here to get into the studio. So just give it like a burnish. Just burnish everything and just make sure that that foil gets down into that adhesive everywhere. And just give it a good, and you can actually see through the parchment everywhere that it's transferred. So let me just show you this. Let me slide my parchment and see it's already starting to come up. And just grab your foil on one end and give it a peel. And voila, you have transferred right over to your wood. And if you see any areas where it didn't transfer, you can just put your foil right back on top and just give it a little rub. And if there's still any adhesive showing, it will pick it up. And so see, like there, I've got a little spot. And there's some places here that didn't transfer because the wood is, got a divot or whatnot. But there you go. We have made a beautiful foiled sign. So wasn't that easy? It was really fun. We really like this Deco Foil stuff. Can you just imagine all the possibilities for this? So I hope you had a good time. Be sure to leave us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and we'll get back to you. See you next time.